In exercise 7, we're going to look at the connection between function notation and graphs. The graph of a function g is given below, so this is a graph of g. We think of g as the name of that function, right? And in part A, we want to find g of -1 and g of 5. The -1 and the 5 that we see inside parentheses, those are x coordinates. So we want to find the corresponding y coordinates for those x coordinates. And I have the graph pictured here. We're just going to look for those points on the graph. I apologize that on the PDF version of the handout, these graphs are pretty small, so I hope you can see that. Let's see, when x is -1, the point on the graph is up here, and that's a point with coordinates -1, 4. The y coordinate is 4. So for part A, we would say g of -1 is equal to 4. So we want the y coordinate that corresponds to that x coordinate. When x is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we get this point here. So we have the point 5 comma y is 1 there. So we would say g of 5 is equal to 1. So that's part A. Now in part B, it's a little bit different here. We're turning things around. Find all values of x for which g of x equals 2. When we say g of x equals 2, the 2 is a y coordinate. We're being given the y coordinates, and we're being asked to find the corresponding x coordinates. So let's see, when y is 2 on this graph, when y is 2, we're looking along a horizontal line like so, because those are all the points with y coordinate 2. We touch the graph here, we touch the graph here, and actually we touch the graph again at a third point. I have -3, 2. I see there's the point 1, 2, and then there's also a point at 6, 2. So g of x equals 2 when x is equal to -3, when x is equal to 1, and when x is equal to 6. So there are actually 3 different x values there. Part B. Part C, again, is the same kind of problem, but here we're looking where g of x is equal to 0. Now when y is equal to 0, that's like looking for x-intercepts, right? The points with y coordinate 0 on a graph lie on the x-axis. So we're looking for this point and this point. This point has coordinates -4, 0. This point has coordinates 3, 0. So g of x is equal to 0 when x is equal to -4 and +3. There are just 2 x values there. And so there's exercise 7. Let's go ahead and do exercise 8, which is similar. Now I realize, again, on the PDF this graph can be kind of hard to read because it's not clear that I have these like darkened closed circles for some of these points. And then there are also a couple of open circles, and I'm just going to exaggerate that a little bit here. That's an open circle, and that's an open circle on that line segment. I'm sorry that that doesn't show up better. And we just got to remember that closed circles are included, points included on a graph. Open circles are not actually points on the graph. So let's go ahead and do this one now. It's a similar kind of thing. We're just looking at a slightly screwier looking graph here. When x is 4, f of 4. So when x is 4, here's x4. There are no points above. If we go down to the graph, we touch it right there. There's the point 4, negative 6. So for a, by the way, this is a graph of a function f. And so f of 4 is negative 6. That's what we want there. And we want f of negative 2. F of negative 2 is here. We go up. The open circle we don't want. The closed circle we do want. That's negative 2, 5. So f of negative 2 is positive 5. And we got that one. Now part B, find all values of x for which f of x is equal to 1. That means y is equal to 1, and we're going back to find the corresponding x values. So here's where y is 1 along this horizontal line. We get 1 point right here, and we get a second point there. So negative 4, negative 5, 6, 7. That's negative 7, 1 is on the graph. And negative 1, 1 is also on the graph. So f of x is equal to 1 when x is equal to negative 7 and when x is equal to negative 1. And C is just a similar kind of thing here too. Find all values of x for which f of x is equal to 2. So we're just going to go up one more level horizontally here. And now we don't include the open circle, but we do touch the graph at this point right here. That point looks like it has coordinates negative 4, 2, right? So I can't kind of draw the coordinates far away from the point. And so f of x is equal to 2 when x is equal to negative 4. I get just one value there for x, and that's exercise 8.